we brought to you the exclusive news that a legal framework for cryptocurrencies is in the offing and that the government is set to bring laws to regulate the sector. The key questions that arise include whether cryptocurrencies will be treated as an asset and how will the trade be taxed. Business Today TV has this special report for you.
Two crore investors and counting. That's the number of people in India who have reportedly jumped on the crypto bandwagon. Even though the wagon is travelling on a road that is yet to be mapped out. There are three big issues the government has to address. Number one is the big one. Will cryptocurrency be treated as a medium of exchange or simply an asset? Number two, will cryptocurrencies be taxed as an asset class like other commodities? And number three, what safeguards are needed to prevent frauds in a tech-driven, fast-moving landscape? If treated as currency, imagine paying for coffee through a crypto wallet on some future date. If the currency rate has changed, not only will you have to pay a capital gains tax on the purchase, but also a transaction tax. A nightmare for tax authorities.
For it to be treated as currency, I think that entire framework will have to be brought in, saying that the local currency is not the only legal tender, but we will allow. So I think that the bill, hopefully in the parliament right now, will hopefully address this issue of how it is going to be treated, and if it is treated as some form of an alternate currency, then this issue will go away.
What's more, cryptos as they exist now are anarchist in nature, with developers deliberately keeping them out of the purview of currency regulators and sovereign governments. Even the securest of blockchain systems can be gamed to commit frauds, as was the case in the theft of $660 million in April this year.
It has to come with number one caveats for suitability. Second, it has to be solid enough as a technology that it can't be gamed. And thirdly, even if it's solid technology, the anti-fraud provisions and what happens if fraud or theft occurs. I think these three will have to be in place for crypto to take off as a mainstream currency. Really.
China has already made it clear that it will not allow cryptocurrencies. Given that India is one of the fastest growing markets for cryptocurrency investments, whatever policy framework it ultimately finalizes will leave its mark worldwide. Bureau Report, Business Today Television.
Lovai Navlakhi, MD and CEO, International Money Matters, joining us now. Great to have you with us and really want to get your expertise on how these regulations will evolve. Lovai, tell us, is there a way to efficiently tax cryptocurrencies if they were to be treated as a legitimate asset, given the kind of framework that the government or regulators seem to be putting together? What do you think is going to be the likely course of action?
So I think if, the cryptocurrency is treated as legitimate, it is quite likely that anything other than equity in the Indian context typically gets taxed as, as one sort of group, which is like debt taxation, which means that you might need to hold for 3 years and only then it will become long term. While it is short term, you will be taxed at your income tax slab. So it will get added to your income. Once you cross 3 years, hopefully you will get a 20% capital gains tax, but with indexation. That's what I'm thinking. But at the moment, it's not even legitimate. So one will have to wait and see what happens there.
It's an industry where things are changing so rapidly. Is there a way to really keep track when it comes to some of these changes? How will the regulators look to safeguard interests of the small investor when it may actually be quite challenging to keep up with the pace of change when it comes to cryptocurrencies?
Yeah, I think the one issue that will be there at any point in time is that whenever a new product comes in, first you will get creativity and you will get innovation and new products, and then you suddenly realize, oh, it's running away, it's becoming too large, and now let me start bringing in regulation. It happens in all industries, and finance is no different. But the issue is going to be that the regulator will need to understand the product, how it works, what is the interest of people, how prices move. But without having that understanding, anything which sort of goes up very sharply, they will think of it as speculative and therefore clamp down heavily on it. I think whenever they do first bring it into the legitimate sort of cauldron.